Hey there, buddy.
Why didn't you start this when I was doing my Dolly impression just a
I
second ago?
was trying to, but I was late
I was
clicking the
like, working
button.
195, working 195, episode 195. And you know what we need to do on episode 195?
What's that?
They need to like this,
They do need to like it.
share it,
Share it,
and then subscribe.
subscribe, like,
Anyway,
share,
Travis Cody, tell them what we're going to talk about this week.
comment. Man, we're going to talk about some people transferring. We're going to talk about people entering portals, exiting portals, that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about
Hey, Hunter
football.
Yurchek is apparently not happy.
Huh?
Apparently, Hunter Yurchek's not happy with some transfer portal.
Yeah, Hunter Yurchek is definitely not happy. He's made a big statement today. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about why he made that statement. I think we know why. We'll talk about a little basketball, a little baseball, a little football, a little may even talk about a little draft. We're almost to the draft.
Yeah, 2 days away.
Yeah, man. I'm excited for it. Because I think the Browns are gonna take my boy Travis Hunter. We need a Travis on the Browns.
Yeah, they do.
Which
That's the big difference.
that's the big difference right there. All it is in the
Horrible,
first
bad
round.
decisions by ownership again and again and again and again
Yeah.
and
We
again.
got to talk about that. So, folks, like, share, comment, subscribe, and listen to a little Sean Michelle. We'll be right back with you. Hang in there.
1, 2, 3, 4. You ever seen a lame man walk? Ever heard a dumb man talk? Ever seen a blind man see? I promise you a change his name. You ever seen a cancer dead? Ever seen all the poor get fed? Ever seen a prisoner set free? I promise you a change his name. Changes me, my Lord changes me. Can you hear me now? Church, can you hear me now? Ever seen a broken heart made whole? Ever seen an orphan find a home? Ever seen the weak find the strength? I promise you a change is name. Ever seen the sick get healed? Ever seen a mystery revealed? Ever seen a dead man rise? I promise you a change.
What's up, everybody? It's time. It's time. It is that time for the Hawg Slop podcast. I'm your boy, Bigger T, with my man, my best friend, Clint Clark, Big C. How you doing, brother?
Man, I am fantastic. I'm fantastic. I got to enjoy one of the perks of living here in South Texas this weekend.
Barbecue?
I did well. I did make some barbecue myself.
Oh, good.
I make my own sauce and everything now because I
Yeah.
feel like I makes better than what they make at the store.
Yeah.
But yeah. Um, but it wasn't barbecue, believe it or not. It wasn't barbecue, believe it or not. I went to Magnolia Beach, which is in the Gulf, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Went to the beach, took the kid. Austin came down for the weekend.
Good.
So I took him and my stepson Colin. We took him to the beach, Magnolia Beach, and the boys wanted to go fishing. And so Austin, of course, just jumps in the water. He's swimming and Colin fishing. And so we get the fishing pole out. I stop and buy shrimp to use for bait
Mm-hmm.
down there. And so
Hey,
I
and
got,
that doubles if you don't catch anything, you always cook them up, right?
well, I probably, I don't know. I haven't tried. But I have to Google that. I seriously, I don't know the answer to your question. And it perplexes me. But anyway, so we're just at the beach. Austin's in there swimming. Colin gets the fish pole out. We hook the shrimp on there, take it out there. As soon as that hits the water, a bird comes and snatches her bait. Just like that, like every time. Like you can't you can't do that.
Yeah.
So we did it like twice,
Yeah.
and they kept just snatching the bait.
Oh man.
We couldn't fish at all because the birds would keep snatching her bait. But then the redneck in me came out, Travis.
Oh, good.
Because you know what?
As well it should.
I could have left it at that.
Yeah.
But dadgummit, I'm from the dirt roads of Greenbrier, Arkansas.
That's right. Republican Road, baby.
I'm different. I'm
representing.
Different. I'm Republican Road proud. So anyway, proud's not really the word for it, but
something.
Yeah, I live there. So we had so I had all this bait, and I threw one out to the birds, and of course they swarmed to the bait. And I'm like, wait a second, the kids are out there swimming, and I have this bait.
Nice.
Yeah, and it made my afternoon, Travis.
I bet.
I just got that bait, and I just kept throwing it at the kids.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dive
bombing them.
But it turned on me, as it often does.
Yeah.
Because I can't leave good enough alone. Eventually, they realize, oh, he throws it, and then he's got the bag right there.
Oh,
they started coming over to me like, hey, man, hey,
they
fat
found
guy,
the source. Yeah.
You going to throw? So eventually, I just took a big old wad of it and just threw all of it at him.
And ran away.
I'm like, get away from me, bird.
Yeah, well, that's funny, dude.
Yeah. But that was, but you know, that was, I don't know. That's peak dad mode right there.
That's right. Yeah.
Throwing
that's good. That's good, Dad.
Don't get attacked by birds.
It's good fatherly things there to, have your kids get attacked by birds.
I don't know. I'm either going to get Father of the Year or a call from Child Protective Services.
Whichever. It's all good.
Either one, I'll take it.
Well, Clint, there's lots of stuff going on with Razorbacks right now, man. Lots of Hawg Slop right now.
There is, but before
we
get to that, Travis, I think we should cover the news that I broke to you. I sent you the text about Mike Leach.
Yeah.
And the offensive innovator he is.
That's right.
Because you know
what? Genius.
Because if the tush push gets banned, if it quits
which working, we talked about last week's episode. Wasn't it last week?
Yeah,
it was a week before. One of them. Go back.
Yeah,
YouTube, watch it. Yeah.
Let's say the sissies like Travis get their way and they ban it.
That's right.
What can you do in a short yardage situation? Mike Leach apparently floated this idea.
Excellent idea too. Excellent.
He was going to put a little person in the backfield, a drawer.
That's right.
And then try to throw him over the line of scrimmage with the ball in short yardage situations.
Why not, man? Just put Reggie Fish back there and just chunk him. I'm all for it. Hey, if you're going to let the tush push happen, how is that not legal?
I don't see how it's illegal. Unethical, maybe.
well, hey.
What's going to happen, Travis?
Shaky ground there, Clint. Shaky ground.
Okay, because let's just say they did this.
Yeah.
And I'm not encouraging it. And I know
I'm encouraging it. Let's do it.
Let's say they grab the drawer and they try to throw him over the line. The defensive lineman is not just going to sit there.
No.
Sit there and let you throw this drawer over. They're going to be trying to bat him back.
Yeah.
So then it becomes a rule thing.
Well, then if you're on defense, do a tabletop, let a linebacker jump off your back to meet that dude in midair.
But where's Ford Pargas, Travis?
Well,
is it where he? Because
where he falls.
Is it where he is when he bats him?
The farthest he goes, just like in anything else, right?
So
the farthest he goes forward, that's forward progress. So it's all good.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. Look, Bobby Petrino, listen up, dude. You just, two of our best players, receivers, are 5'9" and shorter slot guys, and you're wondering about how to get them both on the field. Here we go.
You couldn't have a quarterback this way. You couldn't have a quarterback throwing. You'd have to have someone else in there to throw.
Oh no, man! But no, Big Shaq.
Okay, but
he's 6'8", 360. Let him throw him.
But what lift do you think would prepare him the most?
Power clean.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. Power
Yeah.
clean,
Without a doubt.
which was the one lift I was good at, was power clean.
Oh, I stunk at it.
I couldn't bench worth a squat, but I think because I enjoyed power clean because I'm a masochist or an idiot or something. I don't know. But there's something not right about me. We all know
No,
that.
if you're a masochist, you enjoyed leg curls. Like, as the theologian I am, that there's going to be leg curls in hell.
Yeah.
That I can't prove that, but that's the lift that'll be there. But anyway, but no, yeah, power clean for sure, dude. That's exactly.
Yeah, so you need somebody
the clean and jerk.
Yeah, yeah. And then it's going to become like a bunch of schools recruiting the strongest man they can. Like they're going to go start recruiting strongman competitions for a guy that can hurl the dwarf the farthest.
No, Clint, I got it. I got the lineup. This is it. Okay. Arkansas. You got, is it Shanks or whatever? One of the short guys,
yeah,
the dude from UAB. That's, the punt returner. He's the smallest guy. He weighs like 165. Right, yeah. He's like 5'8", right? Cam Shanks. I think that's his name. Anyway. All right. Line him up like a fullback. Okay. Or like where a fullback would line up. Line up Shaq McCoy behind him. Okay. Like a tailback, sort of. Now they wouldn't look like that, but you know what I'm saying? They line him up behind him, and on Hut, or on whenever it's time, McCoy puts his butt right in the palm of his hand, okay, and shot puts him. Or you could line up two guys, do a power eye type of thing, or like a wishbone, two guys behind them, one on each cheek. Okay, one right-handed guy, one left-handed guy, and they just shot put him forward over the line.
I know I said this earlier, Travis.
And the quarterback can do the free willy as he goes by.
This like, share, subscribe right now. If you haven't, why haven't you done so already?
Mike Leach is a genius.
Yeah. Innovation. I had no idea this conversation was going here. But I'm happy it did. Yeah. And we're either going to be going up in the world, or we're going to be getting canceled.
Or would you do it like when you go swimming, and you're trying to like lift people up so they can flip or something, where they stand in your hands?
I know what you're saying, yeah.
You just lift up. Listen, Bobby Petrino, come on now. We got to start doing this.
I don't think that would be illegal. Like you could just get a real fast guy and he can run at you in school.
Once again, if the tush push is legal, why is this not legal? I'm all for it. All right. So anyway. Well, Clint, last week we talked about Nico Ilimaliava. Say that 3 times. Okay. And his transfer, and he ended up, of course, the thought was he was going to end up at UCLA. That's where he ends up. Okay. So he ends up on a worse team. From what I understand, I don't really know much about UCLA, but from what I hear about other people, a worse offense with worse surrounding, and making a lot less money than he was making. I reported 1.75 million. He was making like 2.2 or 2.5 at Tennessee, was trying to get to 4 million. And we were thinking, okay, in the back of my mind, we're thinking, okay, wait, his little brother's at Arkansas. Bobby Petrino just bragged on this kid, one of the, best offensive minds in college football, just bragged on how this kid.
He reminds him of Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, exactly. And what do you know, Clint? He's going, Madden Ilimaliava is now going transferring to where else? UCLA.
Well,
now, does that make sense to you for him to go play with his brother?
Well, first off, I told you so. I told everyone this last week. Just you can play it back and you can listen, and it'll tell you. I'll tell you where I said you don't think Arkansas is going to deal with this crap.
Oh yeah.
because you know it's good. You knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Most likely, what happened was, Nico was seeing a lot of people were like, no.
Yep.
Like they weren't interested.
Yep.
First off, if you're going to do this, why do it when you can't be bid on by all the SEC schools?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I would have done.
Yeah.
I want Lane. I mean, Ole Miss is replacing their quarterback. You don't think I want Lane Kiffin bidding on me?
Oh yeah.
Alabama's replacing their quarterback. Alabama might have been bidding on. So
Yep.
you dig yourself. So you eliminate the SEC, and then a lot of people are like, "No, man, we're good. We saw what you did," and apparently, and then it starts getting out that apparently you threatened to hold out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like that's starting that's coming out, and
Yeah.
like no, you were going to try to hold the team hostage.
Yeah.
You look, if you want to play with your backup quarterback in the playoffs, go ahead, my friend.
Yeah.
You would have done that to your teammates.
Yeah.
And when you're still in the middle of something. So that comes out, and I guarantee you what ended up happening, the agent said, look, man, they're not going to give you this. I guarantee you Madden got a raise, and Big Brother took a pay cut, and it kind of evened out. And
Well, I
Daddy
would think Madden's probably not getting any more at UCLA than he was getting at Arkansas. Is UCLA going to have as much money for a backup quarterback as Arkansas does? I mean,
man,
I don't
I
see
don't
it. I mean,
I don't know.
I would think he would end up taking now. Now, look, I'm going to preface what I'm about to say with this. They're, I don't know where their ancestry is from, but they're Pacific Islanders. Okay. And Pacific Islanders tend to have a strong family unit. Okay. And so maybe he's going just to be there. They did that, or some of this is really about being close to family, or at least with Madden. And we already know Nico was doing some things, some money grab stuff. We know a little more about what happened at Tennessee, but let's just give the benefit of the doubt. Or I'm going to say there's a possibility that Madden was just wanting to be closer to family. His brother's going through a tough time right now because he is all of a sudden, whether it was his choice or his people's choice or whatever, he's now a heel, to put it in wrestling terms. Okay. He's the big heel in college football. However, to me, for Madden, it doesn't make much sense. Now, if his brother was 2 years older than him and a established star that had NFL potential that was going to play one more year and go to the NFL, then Madden gets to go and, play 1 year as a backup to his brother instead of being a backup to Taylor Green. And, and he can, take over as a starter next year. Right. But he's just 1 year behind his brother. Am I correct there? Wasn't Nico a
Yeah, but I
freshman?
mean, I think you would anticipate him probably going pro after this year.
He's got to be 3 years out before he can go pro.
No, he redshirt freshman, and then
Nico redshirted?
Yeah, he redshirted.
Oh, I didn't know he redshirted. Okay.
Yeah, so
Never mind.
This will be at least his third year. Yeah.
All right. But anyway, here's the thing. Except for injuries, well, okay, if he goes in his first of all, what if he beats his brother out? I mean, Bobby Petrino's bragging on this dude. Nico had some good things, okay, but he's not just necessarily a world beater. So what if he goes and it ends up being drama because some people are like, hey, Madden may be better. Okay. So that could cause some drama. Second of all, he very well, I know we got KJ Jackson, and I think in a pinch right away, KJ Jackson would have been the backup. But if Taylor Green was going to be out for a couple of games, I think if we asked Trey Biddy, he might say, and he who got to watch practices, that there would be a chance that if he knew more of the playbook by the fall, that Madden would have been the guy that would have been a long-term the long-term backup instead of KJ Jackson because of his potential, just the potential and the athletic ability, the ability he's got. So to me, if he would have stayed at Arkansas one year to play, I think he would have been in a better situation. However, we don't know. We don't know what the money. We don't know all those things. But here's the other thing that stinks for Arkansas, and you brought it up and I'll read the Hunter Juracek deal in just a second. We don't really know, Clint, because none of this is made public. Had Arkansas already paid him most of his money? Like, do they pay these guys up front? And how much of it? And they pay them some up front to get them to come because they're going to want money right away. How much of it did they pay him up front? And now all he did was do spring practice and he's gone.
Here's the thing. It goes back to what I've been saying for a while now. There is literally nothing more pointless than high school recruiting.
Yeah.
Especially the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Because here's what's going to happen. You get a true freshman, 4-star quarterback. Let's even say Matt.
Mm.
And he's probably not going to be your starter, but he would be your long-term solution.
Yeah.
In old college football.
Yeah.
Right? That's what you'd be looking at. He's committing to you to go get ready for hopefully an NFL future.
Yeah.
You prepare him for the next level.
Yeah.
He's agreeing that you are the guy to do him that.
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's not like, okay, he's going to pay me the most money. So he's going to sit there for a year, probably behind an established quarterback that they brought in from another school.
Yeah.
Taylor Green. And then what you're going to do is you're going to be like, all right, I know I'm the guy next year, unless you bring somebody. I know you're the guy. I'm the guy next year.
Yeah.
I want this much money. If not, I'm going to hit the portal. Knowing that more than likely the guy's going to hit the portal anyway.
Yeah.
There's, especially if he's got the hint of competition.
Yeah.
That is modern college football. No, there's just no point in why would you spend all this time recruiting a high school kid when you can be coaching up the ones you got and buy a player out of the portal?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Get that guy that's looking for his big payday.
Yeah. Look, okay, I have X amount of money. This is the best guy I can get for that X amount of money.
It's already kind of proven himself.
Yeah. Or I can keep going in this bad cast role in this high school kid's kitchen.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. But the other thing is this, Clint, is apparently, well, here, let me read Hunter Yurchek's.
Yeah, just read it because it sounded spicy.
I have spoken with the leadership team at Arkansas Edge and expressed my support in their pursuit to enforce their rights under any agreement violated by our student athletes moving forward. We appreciate Edge's investment in our student athletes and acknowledge the enforcement of these agreements is vital to our new world of college athletics. We look forward to continued dialogue with all parties in resolving these matters. Now, this comes out the day, I guess the day after, but the day he announces where he's going. Okay. And it sounds to me, by looking at that and hearing it, that he's saying Madden got some money and he didn't fulfill his part of the contract, which we don't know if there's even a contract involved. And the Arkansas Edge is going to pursue getting some of that money back. Isn't that what you heard in that statement?
Yeah, I did. And one of and here's the thing. You've got rich people that donate to the Arkansas Edge. And what do rich people always know? Where their money goes.
Yep.
And some of their money went to Madden. And Madden, he learned for a couple of weeks under the genius that is Bobby Petrino. And then bounced.
Yeah.
Now, I'd heard an idea floated because, and I get that why they're spicy about that, but I want to get maybe if this would be part of an answer to a bigger problem, Travis.
Yep.
Because the problem is they're poured on NIL. It is what it is. You're never going to see a mid-major team in the Sweet 16 again, much less the Elite Eight or Final Four, because what's going to happen is Alabama's going to come steal that stud, off your team. It's just you're not going to be able to keep him.
Yeah,
you got to hope you get lucky with a 3-star freshman.
Yeah,
I mean that's what you're going to have to hope.
Yeah.
But what happens is you got these smaller schools, Marshalls, your Gonzagas, and
Toledo,
stuff like Toledo's, your Boise States, that are developing these good quarterbacks, these Taylor Greens and their stuff like that. And they developed this guy for what? For him just to go run off. Would an answer be a buyout? Because when the portal was eventually attended, what Sam Pittman would said, and he understands that the things changed, but it was that kid that was under recruited, or the kid that was over recruited. Like, hey man, you didn't mess up, we did. Like we put you in a situation where you're not thriving. Like I think he mentioned one day, I believe, as an example where he's like, I know I got some speed, I can help somebody.
Yeah.
Where now it's just like, okay, well, Texas State's going to develop this kid, so Eco can go steal him. I mean, I mean, would buyouts help? Because
I think you're going to end up having to do something like that because, first of all, they're going to have to get some kind of contracts. That's the big step in that is somehow making these players where they're like employees, whether they're contract employees or whatever. And they're going to have to
big boy money. There needs to be big boy consequences in your contract.
Now, coming with the contracts is going to be some sort of union for the players because that'll be right behind it. You're going to end up with the NFL model. It'll maybe look a little different, but you're going to have to do that. I mean, to keep everything legal, to keep everything right. And I can foresee it being like 2-year contracts, something like that they end up with, to try to keep a player there more than 1 year. Hey, we'll bring you in, but you're going to have to at least stay 2 years with us, and like you said,
if you sign them out of high school, do 2 years with a mutual option for third or something like that.
And then, like you said, I think they'll, and that's some talk in the national, realm too in media, but that there's going to be need to be some kind of buyout for these smaller schools because they're investing money that's harder for them to come by. Yeah. And, here's another thing, Clint, that, I don't know. Anyway, I'll bring the other thing up in a minute.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
But anyway, I think we agree on that. I think there has to be some sort of contract.
I mean, the one thing everybody agrees is this is out of control.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's not. I mean, it is professional sports now, and it just like. So, to what point do you hold a coach accountable? Because it's like, okay.
Well, I'd like to hear how some of the players on the team feel about Madden right now and how some of the Tennessee players feel about Nico. Yeah. They're not liking it either right now. Now they like the part of them getting more money, and they like the part of them being able to get money. But if I'm a guy and I've dedicated, I came in as a high school player, I've been playing at Tennessee for 2 years. We got a stud quarterback, a guy that, we think's going to do well for us. And all of a sudden he pulls what he did. And I'm here busting my butt every day, not making near as much money as he is, but happy with the money I'm getting, that I'm getting some, I'm maybe a 3-star recruit that, but I'm helping the team out. I'm a starter and I'm working my butt off. Man, you just jacked up our team. Of course, now Tennessee's got the guy that Nico's taking his place at UCLA is now supposedly going to be the quarterback at, one of the quarterbacks at Tennessee. Although Tennessee does have a guy that they already like on the roster that some people were saying might have even had a chance to. Some people may like him better than Nico. So anyway,
Well, they probably do like him a lot better
especially
than
now, yeah.
I mean, it's already, it's already hard enough to be a freshman that comes in, and then
Yeah.
they keep buying experienced players at your position, and you're like,
Yeah.
I mean, you're trying to wait your turn, but at what point do you be like, you know what? I'm sorry, but
Well, and the kid from UCLA, was at Appalachian State
yeah,
for a while, and then he was UCLA. Now he's coming to Tennessee, so he's an experienced guy. So the other guy that was behind Nico was a pretty young guy, I think. So anyway, well, Clint, also big news that came out today is Boogie Flan, who entered the NBA draft.
right,
Already made a public statement on that. He's, going, and a guy that was expected to be at one time a lottery pick,
yeah,
but came out with a statement today saying he's entered the transfer portal.
right. Well, he also did it with a do not contact.
Yeah.
But I think he's being cautiously optimistic, and he's protecting himself.
Yeah.
And it could also be kind of what me and you've been talking about on here, and I've talked with Bart on here. He may, because I've seen some drafts where he's a late first rounder. I've seen some drafts where he's as far as back as the middle of the second round.
Yeah.
So I do think he's going to go through all the draft combine, get everything, and if he doesn't like what he hears, what's Boogie's next move? Is obviously to come back to college because he can probably make better money
Yeah.
in NIL than he can as a mid to late second round pick.
Yeah.
So he's got to look at that. Arkansas's loaded next year in the backfield, in the backcourt.
Yeah.
Hopefully in the backfield too. But
Yes,
in the backcourt, we know we're loaded.
Yeah.
And Wagner's coming back. Wagner's going to want some guarantees that he's going to play some point if he's coming back.
Yeah.
And so is it Acuff that's the point guard?
Yeah.
So you got Acuff, who's like top 10 point guard in this class.
Many say the top point guard. He's a top 10 player. Yeah.
Yeah, top point guard.
Yeah.
Anyway, one of the top point guards. Wagner's coming back, and he's going to handle the rock some. They're just you going to fight for one of the 3-point guard spots, or you going to go somewhere where you can be the point guard?
Well, and I think too, I think Boogie sees the writing on the wall that, even though he's a great player, even if Acuff is not quite, even if he's not the best point guard in the nation next year as a freshman, he's going to be pretty daggum good. And they're going to give him enough money that he's going to get a lot of minutes. And then you got Wagner that has already proven himself to be a good distributor. So you got those two high school guards coming in. You may see Wagner playing point and those two guys, because Acuff can ball. He can shoot, he can score. So they may put him at 2 and the other guy at 3, and just play a 3-guard lineup. That's a pretty salty lineup right there. So I think Boogie's seeing that even if he does come back, and even if he comes back to his stellar play, he would still be splitting a lot of minutes in that backcourt. So he's not going to be able to be the guy, the star. And one of the talk is a place he would be looking at going if he did transfer is St. John's, which he could go play for another Hall of Fame coach in his home city, a team that just had a great year last year and a great run in the tournament, who has a lot of fire right now. A lot of momentum. And even if they may not have as much NIL, guaranteed money as say Arkansas does with the Tyson money and all that, you can't tell me he's not going to be able to get a lot of NIL deals in New York City, especially being a hometown boy coming back home. They'll be able to put his face on billboards all over the Big Apple. Okay. And there's a lot of billboards there to put him on. So
It really is.
I think, and like you said, that he could put together maybe a lot more money than he would make even as a second round draft pick. Maybe stay healthy next year and become that lottery pick that he thought he was going to be this year.
I tell you what, when we were facing pressure, I sure did feel good with that ball was in Boogie's hands.
Oh, I did too.
You know what I'm saying?
And
Because I can't remember who was pressing us real hard, but when Boogie had the ball in his hands, I'm like, okay, I'm not worried. You know,
and,
so,
and all those things I said, Clint, he's a great player. Okay.
yeah.
He's a great player. And we didn't see, I don't think we never got to see how good he really is this
Well,
year, even though he played great.
And I loved how John Calipari jumped out and said, "Look, no, y'all calm down. Me and the kid talk.
Yeah.
I know all about it. He didn't. He's not trying to pull anything.
Yeah.
We talked. We're good.
Yeah.
And I loved it. He did the same thing with Carter Knox. Where Carter Knox is going to draft. He's not in the portal, but I'm going to test the draft waters and see what I get back.
Yeah.
And I figure he'll be back. But it was you understand it, and you understand. You know, in these. Especially in basketball, it's been a business at an early age for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, it's like starting at 19, you know, the one and done. The just difference is, you know, you get a little bit more money for the older guys now.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't seem as out of control basketball, even though the number one player, me and you talked about it in the number one player in the portal, wanting $4 million. Get out of $4 million and guarantee that he is going to play point guard.
Yep. See, buddy, we don't need you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying, well, you know, $4 million is probably a budget for a lot of these basketball schools.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, basketball schools are probably like Vanderbilt or something along that line. I mean, that's probably their budget.
Yeah.
Arkansas, you're probably, you know, we pay you about half that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that's too big of a ask, especially him saying he's wanting to be guaranteed to play point guard. We got like you said, like we talked about earlier, the number one point guard in the nation coming in. We're not going to guarantee nothing like that. I guarantee you Cal's not going to.
No, I don't think Cal would ever guarantee someone playing time. I really don't.
No.
He said, I anticipate you playing that, but if you get beat out, you get beat out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. For sure. Well, Clint, as we speak, changing the subject again.
Oh, I know what we're about to talk about, Travis.
I know. But let's talk about the positive part. Arkansas is playing Little Rock. And we're beating Little Brother 7-0 right now.
Well, as you should.
Yeah. Well, but you know, hey, this is a Little Rock team that beat Ole Miss the other day, or a week or two ago. So, or a week ago. So, you know, they've had a lot of injuries this year. They've had some struggles, but anyway, the Arkansas's pitcher started out. Not McIntyre. Anyway, starts the M. Anyway, started out kind of rough in this game, and that's been the story, Clint, of this team right now. You know, we just lost 2 weekend series in SEC weekend series in a row.
Lost a home series with that.
Lost a home series to A&M. You know, Van Horn said that the team looked tired. And you can imagine they probably were tired, but that's really not an excuse because A&M was probably pretty tired too.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a weird schedule this weekend because you had the rain out games. So you had double headers. You know, on Friday was a double header. They did Thursday night and then Friday double header. So you had a lightning delay in one of those games. Woods came back pitching and
did not have a good day.
Did not have a good at it, which Van Horn did say that he was only planning on him going 1 inning anyway, but he didn't even make it to that 1 inning. So Gage Wood really struggled there. And that's the story of this team right now, Clint.
Yep, the pitching, especially the starting pitching, is struggling.
Mm-hmm.
They really are. But Also, I think we should put the last 2 weekends in perspective.
Mm,
Um, Texas A&M, for some reason, just did not start off well,
yeah.
but they were a preseason #1 team.
Yeah.
I mean, they just were. They were preseason #1, and lately have been playing like it.
Yeah.
Georgia is a top. They're a super regional host, and I think we are too. Um, but we're also you're looking at the next several weekends. We went over the schedule last week. You're playing potential super regional host.
Oh, yeah.
If you're going to make it to Omaha, you're going to have to win some of these series.
Well, yeah. I mean, just to go back over the schedule, we play at Florida this weekend, come back and play at Missouri State. Uh,
Last non-conference game.
then we play Texas at home.
Who was #1? I'm not sure if they still
Yeah.
are.
And then we play at LSU.
They're
And
top 4, I think.
And then we finish up with Tennessee at home.
Who at some point was ranked #1 this year.
Yeah.
I mean, you counted this last weekend. You had 3 series versus teams that at some point were ranked #1.
Yeah.
At some point,
And look, right now the fans are saying, man, our pitching, they're down on the pitching. Okay. And you know us, I mean, we're honest, but we're positive dudes, right? Like
Yeah.
we're pretty we're not total sunshine pumpers, we're not total Rick Schaefer's, but we try to stay on the positive side, right? Clint, do you realize even as bad as we can say that our pitching has hurt us, in these, especially these last 2 series? Do you realize that we're still 5th in the SEC in pitching right now?
And I'm not panicking at all. I mean, but that part of the reason is, man, it's a couple bad series.
And get this, we're 12th nationally. And when you put all the stats together, overall best pitching staffs. Okay. Now, is this pitching staff as good as last year's? No. But I'll tell you, the hitting is much better than last year.
They are. I mean, that's what it is. And I think I still contend that I think this is the best overall team we've had.
Yeah. Clint, Viva Aloy is leading the SEC in hits.
Yeah. He's in the Golden Spikes discussion. David Horn says best shortstop he's ever coached.
And I saw I forget the guy's name, the guy that he does baseball for John Neighbors group. I was watching their podcast or his podcast about baseball. And he was mentioning that Viva Aloy may be in the running for the best shortstop we've ever seen in Arkansas.
Yeah, and we've had some good ones.
And we've had some pretty good ones. So,
yeah.
I mean, he's really that good. A lot of our other guys are still hitting pretty well. It's just we're not able to get the pitching to stop the other teams, and other teams are just hitting good on us, and which, like you said, A&M's got some bats, man.
And what's funny, Travis? I have not heard one. Of course, I don't live in Arkansas anymore, but I'm on the internet. I have Facebook.
Yeah, you got
I got
the World Wide Webs.
The World Wide Web. I'm not hearing anyone call for Hothead.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like last year, everybody's like Nate Thompson, Fire Thompson. Not one person's called. Well, I'm sure somebody has. And everybody's like, you're an idiot. Shut up. So,
and like I said, as the positive guys we are, Clint, the hope that we have is these pitchers are a talented group.
Yeah.
Okay. They got some. You got Wiggins throwing 101, dude. He's throwing some cheese, man. He's throwing some heat. So, you got some good pitchers here. They're just right now not doing as good as you'd like. That doesn't mean this is baseball, man. Okay. That just like A&M started out not doing so good at the beginning of the year, and now all of a sudden they're world beaters. This could be just the downtime for this team.
Well, I'd rather have a dip now
Yeah,
than a dip and chew.
for sure.
So now, Travis, this is another baseball thing. Did you see that they redid the SEC tournament?
Huh.
They did it in baseball because before it's like the first four teams get a bye, but it's single elimination all the way through. But like the top four get a bye or something like that. So I mean, I can't remember exactly the format, but it's basically a single elimination tournament.
Really?
And like I know that like I think yeah, I think what it is, that would be I don't know.
Huh.
We got 16 teams now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they do the first round everybody, then kind of like they do the SEC women's tournament or
Yeah.
basketball tournament. They're going to do it. They're going to do some kind of format like that. How they did the basketball tournament, the SEC basketball tournament.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good thing. Rewards, like if you're Texas, for example, as much as I hate to say this, if you're Texas, you deserve, to have your pitcher rested for, their third guy.
Yeah.
That's if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
So
It'll be interesting, but let's hope the Hogs will. Well, of course, the SEC tournament, you just want to do okay. It's kind of like basketball. You just want to do okay in it. You want to have a good showing and rest your guys and get ready for the regional.
yes, sir.
That's the big thing. Well, Clint, we'll talk just for a minute. This week, Thursday night, is the NFL draft.
Right, yeah.
Being hosted in Green Bay, Wisconsin, which will be, I'm excited to see that. I think they're going to be a good host for it. Great fans there, of course, and they'll be excited to have it there. And isn't that the smallest town that
I believe so.
has an NFL team? I know Jacksonville's pretty small, but I think Green Bay's smaller. Cam Ward looks like he's number one.
Yeah, those like that. You can lock that down.
And it's really looking like there's a good chance the Browns are going to take Travis Hunter with the second pick.
Well, I tell you, really, the Brown it's gonna. I hate to say this, Travis, because I know it's going to be hard for the Browns to mess this up.
Yeah,
it really is because it's either Abdul Carter, who could be another Micah Parsons,
yeah,
or it's Travis Hunter, who is a generational talent. The two-way player is going to play a lot on both sides of the ball.
yeah.
So I mean, it's going to be hard to mess that up.
Yeah,
but if anybody can do it,
the
Browns can do it. Browns. And then it becomes like, okay, how far is Shadur Sanders going to slide?
Yeah,
because they signed Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson, so they're thinking the Giants are like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, they could be out.
The Raiders just gave Geno Smith a 3-year contract,
and a lot of people are thinking Genty's going to go there to the Raiders.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people saying that. And then they're saying maybe the Saints, but I've actually seen some where the Saints are taking a tight end.
Yeah.
But it shows them trading back in. And then where is Jackson Dart going to go?
And a lot of people are, really liking Jackson Dart,
Well, but here's the thing. Is Jackson Dart really that good, or is he just the third best quarterback in the draft?
Yeah. That's the question.
And I've heard some people, this kid from Louisville, that there's several teams that have him number one on the draft board.
Yeah.
And then
one of the problems with Jackson Dart is Lane Kiffin's offense and the plays they ran aren't really great in NFL, so even though he's having some good workouts and he's doing some things, a lot of people are comparing him a little bit to maybe how Bo Nix was underrated. That he could end up coming in and doing well like Bo Nix. But no, I'll tell you back to the, me, I got to talk about the Browns a little bit. One of the reasons I want them to Carter would be awesome with Myles Garrett, bookending, that'd be awesome. Yeah. But one of the reasons I want Travis Hunter is I love that kid's attitude.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Like he wants to play both ways, not just he doesn't want to do it just to like his first response is I want to play both ways because I get bored on the sidelines and I love playing football. He literally just does not like sitting on the sidelines. He wants to be in the game playing. He said, and Coach Prime was like, he's like, man, he wanted to be on every special team. He wanted like he wouldn't leave the field if I'd let him, you know. And I love that attitude because I think teams need a guy like that. I think, you know, that you see, I mean, you don't have to say nothing. You see a guy working like that, you know, and that wants to be out there so bad, you know. I mean,
But
Carter could be a Hall of Famer. Okay. Like he's got that much talent. So you're not gonna like either one of them is gonna be great. But I just love that attitude that Hunter has. But
no, and
anyway,
I both love and hate that attitude because here's the thing, Travis. Here's the problem with that attitude. At some point, you have to look at Travis Hunter as a business investment.
yeah.
You just do.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
He's a potential Hall of Fame wide receiver, potential Hall of Fame cornerback.
Yeah.
And I agree with it.
Yeah.
He's a potential nothing if he's hurt.
That's right. And with his size, that can happen very easily.
And that's what I'm saying. So
especially playing that many plays.
yeah, and I get it. Like if you're going to be a full-time receiver, then yeah, I'm going to work you in the nickel some, and you're going to have to just accept it.
Yeah.
And if you're going to play cornerback full-time, I'm going to have a package for you. Get you. I'm going to get you maybe 10, 12 reps a game. But there's just it is unrealistic to think the man's going to play every offensive and defensive play in the NFL and take that kind of beating. I love the attitude, but it's eventually going to have to happen.
Yeah, you're right.
And yeah.
Anyway,
I'm always right, Travis.
We'll see what happens, and we're hoping Landon Jackson gets drafted pretty high.
Yeah, you know, and I'm still curious to see what happens with Pooh Paul.
Landon, of course. Andrew Armstrong, we'll see where he goes. There's some good talk about him. Some think, you know, whatever.
And you know what? I think it was Lewis Riddick on ESPN. You know who his favorite day 2 wide receiver was?
Who's that?
Isaac Tesla.
See, and I'm telling you, I think Tesla is going to be one of the better Razorbacks as a pro that we've seen.
Yeah.
I think he's going to go in to some team and he's going to be able to play multiple positions, you know, multiple receiver positions. And he's going to go in and just, I think he was underutilized at Arkansas this last year for whatever reason. I think he got missed a lot. He was wide open a lot and he got missed a lot.
And that's what Lewis Riddick said. He was always open.
Yeah.
Always open.
Yeah.
He needed to do Talon like Randy Moss used to do his quarterbacks. I'm open.
That's right. Yeah. Well, Clint, man, that's episode 195.
195, working 195, baby.
Beautiful as always.
Thank you.
We came up with a new way to short yardage play to take the place of the tush push or go along with the tush push or whatever. So
you know, you just need to hire us, Leach. We would have tweaked your idea.
That's right.
I would have ruined all the technique of your offensive lineman.
That's right. That's right. And folks, like, share, comment, subscribe, all those different things. We need you. We need you. We need you. And Clinton, did you have a good Easter?
Dude,
Austin was there, so that was awesome, right? Your son was there. So yeah, man. You know what I didn't have this year? Even though I bought some for my kids at school, but I'm sticking to my diet and I'm staying away from sweets. But my favorite Easter candy is the Cadbury egg. And every year, dude, I would buy a sleeve of them and eat, you know, a sleeve or two
for breakfast
before I left the house every morning. No.
Yeah, I cracked one and fried one the other day. It did not turn out well.
Shell and all, baby. But like, you know, and some of my kids in my class had never had a Cadbury egg.
Oh wow.
and it's weird though, Clint, because like I said, I'm trying to eat better, all that kind of stuff. And I bought them for them, and I just enjoyed watching them enjoy them.
Yeah.
I really didn't crave having it.
Well, that's
Like
good.
I
No,
miss
no,
them,
I'm proud of you.
but I didn't. But I
Yeah.
wasn't like I had every chance to eat one myself. Like I had every chance. They were in my truck before I gave them to them. I could, but I enjoyed watching them. And to me, the Cadbury egg. My uncle always tells a story about me. When I was a kid, my mom was always on Weight Watchers, and this was back before Weight Watchers was like had
Like
some
an
good
app.
things you could eat.
Yeah.
Like you ate like we ate V8 chili. Like my mom would take V8 and make chili with
Right.
it, and like we'd use V8 to make pizza sauce and make like little pizzas with tortillas, and like she'd have to measure out the hamburger and the like it was terrible for a chubby kid, man. It's
Right.
terrible.
Yeah. No, it sounds awful.
So one time my uncle was coming over for supper, and my mom needed him to go to the store and pick something up, so I rode with him. Well, we get to the store and I talk him into buying me like 2 Cadbury eggs. And these were back when they were like the big ones, like the size of a jumbo egg now, okay? Like they were good size eggs. And I was like he looked over in the passenger seat when we got back in the truck, and I was downing them like a snake eating a rat. He said I wasn't even chewing them. And he said, Travis, you're going to choke. Don't eat those so quick. I said, I got to eat them before I get home. Mama won't let me have them. So,
See, it always had problems with moderation when I was eating
yeah,
candy.
that's right.
When I went to I can't remember, I'd earned something and I went and got me a whole bunch of candy and I ate it all in an afternoon, made myself sick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It was always the worst.
For sure. Well, anyway, man, Clint, have a great week, brother.
All right.
And folks, thank you so much for watching, listening, all that good stuff. Keep it up. We need you. Hopefully, we got some good things. Episode 195, 200's on the way.
Tearing it down.
Break that barrier, folks. Hey, go Hogs.
Blue pig.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard ground so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain. Lord knows I gotta follow his lead. That's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filled